So now we have to go ahead and talk about an iPhone that I think may not end up lasting as long as people are going to hope so, or it could be the exact opposite, and this iPhone could actually end up lasting longer, or maybe an older iPhone could end up lasting longer. And this is basically what I mean. The brand new iPhone 14. This is an iPhone that, I'm super happy about. I love it a lot. But what Apple actually ended up doing this year was that they ended up putting the Apple A15 Bionic chip inside of the iPhone 14, but the 14 Pros ended up getting the A16 Bionic chip inside of it. Now with the recent reports, so for those of you who don't know, the iPhone 14 pretty much has the same exact internal chipset as the 13. It does have more RAM though, which kind of throws things off, but with a ton of reports that have been coming about, they're actually stating that the chipset inside the iPhone 14 Pro, which is that A16 Bionic, costs a lot more money to actually, create than the A15 Bionic. So for one, I think that may end up helping the iPhone 14 Pro, potentially lasting a longer period of time than the iPhone 14. So we are probably going to have a split release here with software versions. The iPhone 14 is probably not going to last as long as the iPhone 14 Pro, especially if those rumors are true that the A16 Bionic costs a lot more money. I think Apple's probably going to end up supporting that chipset for a longer period of time, especially if the A16 is going to be in the iPhone 15 as well. Now, if you remember back in 2000, now another thing, that some people kind of remember is that with a lot of different chipsets, we look at the iPhone 13, 13 mini, iPhone 14, and iPhone 14 Plus, as well as the iPhone 13 Pro and 13 Pro Max, there are a lot of iPhones that actually have that A15 Bionic chip inside of it. So personally, my initial thought would be, Apple's going to extend these iPhones for a longer period of time because so many devices have that A15 Bionic, including some iPads, I believe, as well. But if you remember what Apple just did with iOS 16 with the iPhone 7 Plus, they ended up discontinuing a bunch of different devices at the same time. But the craziest thing was, I didn't think the 7 or 7 Plus were going to be discontinued. Apple, put the A10 Fusion chip that was inside the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus inside of devices like iPods. They put inside a bunch of iPads, and personally, because of that, I thought this iPhone was going to continue on a longer period of time. I thought it was going to be getting iOS 16, and it didn't. And I think Apple's probably going to be doing something along the same lines as this one on the iPhone 14 as well. I personally don't think the iPhone 14 is going to last as long as the iPhone 14 Pro. I think it's going to last as long as the iPhone 13, and that's probably what's going to end up happening. I feel like Apple put a lot of different devices with that same chipset inside of, the iPhone 14, that same A15 Bionic on all these devices, and they're going to discontinue probably all those devices at the same time, and that the 14 Pro is probably going to last as long as the iPhone 15, and then the 16 and the 15 Pro is going to last as long as the 16. So it's almost like the Pro models of every year are going to last as long as the next generation of models. So I guess we're going to see what happens, but I don't think the iPhone 14 is going to be a super long lasting phone, at least compared to the 14 Pro. It's still going to be supported for many more years, but I would say comparatively the 14 Pro is probably going to last much longer than the iPhone 14. So in terms of that covers it up. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.